Hi guys, it's Nicole and I have a fun video collaboration with Lisa over at Life and Layouts today. We talk often and we were talking one night about those TV shows that you put on the background and you rewatch over and over again. They're those comfort shows. For me, sometimes they don't make sense about why they're comfort shows, but she mentioned wanting to do a layout about that, and I was like, oh, I don't usually like document stuff like that, but I am one of these types of people that if my friend asks me to do something, I do it. So today I am going to be kind of focusing on a stash dive. I think when we originally had this conversation, I was doing the pancake layout, which I'll link above here. I was using this really old October afternoon collection called Saturday Morning, and I noticed that there was like TVs and stuff. And I remember saying something along the lines of like, oh yeah, I could use like TVs for that. Fast forward months later, and here we are. I have pulled this back out, and I do not remember what my game plan was. So when I sat down to work on this project, I dug through sketches on my Google Drive. I found a sketch. It is paid content, so I will link it down below. But the background for like the pattern papers was a bunch of 2x3 pieces of pattern paper. And then there was a single 4x4 photo. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use my photos, which in this case are images of the TV shows that I'm going to talk about. I took screenshots from the internet, edited them to be 2x3, and I actually really like this size. I feel like I need to use this size more often because you can fit 4 of them on a 4x6 print. So I grabbed all my favorites. Some of them make sense to me, some of them do not. But these are the shows that I've watched, I don't even know how many times. Lisa is actually currently watching Grey's Anatomy for the first time, and I think I'm on like my 5th or 6th kind of run through, which each time I tend to fall off at a certain point. I'm not current on the show. There's always like I was trying to explain to her, I'm like, there's like chunks of time as you progress through the show where it starts to kind of, what do they say, jump the shark. Like the vibe and the tone of the show starts to change because you've got writers coming and going, you've got different producers coming in and out. I feel like the first 5 seasons of that show is like the core quintessential Grey's Anatomy, shocker, twists, people making dumb choices type of entertainment. So she's on her first run through of that, and then I'm like tandem watching it with her for I don't even know how many times. Last summer, I think it was, I did ER, which I had watched ER when it was like on TV. I remember I used to come home from work at like 1 o'clock in the morning and I would watch very quietly ER on my DVR because I would wait and catch up. I don't think I had ever seen it like start to finish. So last summer when I was like stitching and working on stuff, I would put it on and watch it, and I ran through the whole thing, and that show held up. That one is so good. If you haven't watched it and you like Grey's Anatomy, you have to watch ER because so many of the storylines from Grey's Anatomy, I'm pretty sure, came from ER. So those were like my 2 medical drama ones that I included. And then there's ones like Criminal Minds, CSI, the Las Vegas version, and Bones, where yes, there's the overall like arcing story that's going on, but I feel like every time I do a rewatch of those, it's for specific relationships that have this like long, slow burn that take forever to get to that I absolutely eat up. And then there's Jack Bauer. There's 24. I don't know how many times I've watched this show. Even just putting this layout together, I was like, I'm kind of itching to watch this. And Lisa told me to take a break from Grey's Anatomy because she's trying to catch up on like current shows. So I was like, oh, okay. Fun fact, I've never finished 24 because I was so mad when it got canceled that I didn't want to see the ending. So I pulled up, I think, season 6. And I was like, okay, I'll just start at season 6 and I'm going to make myself finish it. And then I'll watch the other, it was like a mini season that they did, I think, where he's in like London or something. But I'm going to make myself finish it, but these are just the ones that I know what's going to happen. I don't have to pay attention when I'm like crafting or cleaning my house or doing other things. Like, I can put it on and I get a lot of the nostalgic feelings that I had when I first watched them. So I added some pattern paper in 2x3s. I did round the corners of everything that was depicted on the sketch. I did go ahead and mat the entire layout on that like static screen pattern. I did not gut it. There's so much of this paper, you guys. I was like, you know what? We are 100% wasting this entire sheet. We're going to get it used up. When am I ever going to use this pattern? So it felt good to get it used up. I'm using up some really old letter stickers, and I typed up my journaling and printed it on vellum. And then I did add a little strip of some pattern paper because I couldn't figure out how to anchor that big journaling block. I significantly changed up the journaling that was depicted on the sketch, and I didn't want it to just be floating over there, so this was kind of my solution. And then this is where that stash diving concept comes in that I had put on the thumbnail. These are those layouts where I just have fun getting up and digging through everything in my room. And I have the theme in the back of my mind. I have kind of a basic color palette. I've got black, white, gray, kind of an aqua, a little bit of a navy. A lot of these colors are showing up in the photos, so that's probably why I was kind of leaning that way. And then there's little pops of red here and there. So when I go digging through stickers and die cuts and anything I can possibly find in my room, I have that stuff in the back of my mind. I start with that Saturday morning collection that I've picked, and I pick through anything in there that I can possibly use. There was some stuff that I thought I was going to use. There was like a little wooden TV, but it was like facing sideways, and sometimes having like the same icon, in this instance a TV, over and over becomes a little bit redundant and a little bit boring to me, in my opinion, me. So I decided not to use that. With this being majority of October afternoon stuff coming from Saturday morning, I went through the rest of my October afternoon and I was like, ooh, this is perfect. Some other collection has this border strip that has the time. So it says like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m. And I was like, this is perfect for 24. When would I ever find a more perfect use for this? These are the fun treasures that I love coming across when I'm doing a stash dive focused layout. I'm mixing and matching anything and everything I can find in my room. That sticker came from the office themed collection. I think it's called 9 to 5. There was another sticker that said like file and it has red, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. It's going to go good with the Criminal Minds photo. I'm just flipping through and having fun. I kind of wish I had found a little bit more, but the photos themselves are also kind of acting as embellishments because there's just so much going on with the people and the titles and everything that I was like, you know what, it's okay if I don't have a ton of embellishments. I found a home for some really random items, and I like the finished layout, so we're going to go with that. But I just kind of want you guys to maybe look at a layout like this and kind of challenge yourself to look through your stash and find those random things that fit a non-traditional theme, if that makes sense. I did this another time with I think it was the winter choir for my son. I mixed and matched a ton of stuff to fit the theme of his concert, with it being like music, but also winter, but also his school colors. I'll link that one up above in the eye as well. That was another one of those ones where I just went ham, dug through everything in my room, had fun with dyes, really old stickers, really old paper, just mixed and matched and created products specific to my photos, specific to the story that I was wanting to tell, and kind of revisiting old product in my room. This is another reason why a lot of times I don't purge stuff like this, because they're just really good to have on hand, and they come in situations like this for me and my process. I keep going back and forth through everything, trying to see if I can find anything else. There was this border sticker that had the same phrases that was in the pattern paper I used, where it says, like, don't turn the dial, stay tuned. I cut off a section of that phrase and basically turned it into a phrase sticker instead of a border sticker, because I wanted something to nestle in on that little TV underneath my title. I wanted, like I said, I just wanted to fill in that space, and I wasn't finding a phrase sticker that was the right color or the right phrase, but that border sticker had a really good phrase on it. Another random thing was I had this one heart rub-on left over from a Simple Stories project, and I was like, perfect, let's just put this at the end of my journaling. It's going to bring in that red color. The heart plays into the theme of these being some of my favorite rewatch shows, and yeah. As I'm cleaning up, I'm still going back and looking through and just kind of seeing, is there anything else I can find? Are there places on the layout that I want to put something, and can I find something to put there? If I'm really struggling, I don't push it. I will just kind of get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm not finding anything, so it's time to kind of call it done. So with that is my completed layout. If you pause here, you can read my journaling and you can kind of see a little bit closer up. And I just broke my journaling down into the 3 types of TV shows, and I kept the TV shows in those 3 columns. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys here, and hopefully YouTube will recommend something good. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love for you to join me. Make sure you hit the bell notification, because I post randomly and you will get notified when I upload. Until then, I'll catch you guys later.